What's going on, guys? Vegito here, and I just want to say that I'll be rebooting this series. Meaning the original Part 1 and Part 2 are no longer canon to this rewrite. But I'll be including the rebooted Part 1 and Part 2 in this video. So technically, you're getting 3 times the content from one video. So remember, no like goal for this series since it's a rewrite and not a what if. So let's get started with the rebooted Part 1. We'll start by introducing the characters in this what if. So let's start with Ash. And he'll be similar to an in-between of his character in Sinnoh and Kalos. And not a complete idiot like he was in canon. He'll still have Pikachu come with him, since Pikachu is his best friend and main partner. Now, on to the 2 traveling companions for this rewrite, being Rosa. Nothing changes with her from my original rewrite. She'll be taking on the gyms, since we've never seen a traveling companion take on the gyms, although, in my opinion, Dawn should have taken on the gyms, instead of calling May 2.0. Sorry, got a bit sidetracked there. Now for Nate, who is a childhood friend of Rosa, and these two always get into arguments. Plus, Nate also teased Rosa about her looks. I also forgot to mention that Nate is a massive Ash fanboy. They've watched him compete in all the other leagues. And our other rival for this rewrite, Hugh, who is ready to start Oshawott from an egg. And also has a massive vendetta against Team Plasma. So let's discuss Marlin, Ash and Rosa's other traveling companion. He was a master of water types. He's on a journey to catch more water type Pokemon to make his gym stronger. Who is partner Vaporeon, a new Pokemon getting in for his rewrite. So yes, Rosa's replacing Iris. And as much as it hurts me to say this, but Marlin is replacing Silent. I mean, literally, it hurts me, because I love Silent. Like, literally, I gotta talk about trains all day and still keep me entertained. Now, let's discuss the villains for this rewrite, being Team Plasma. This is the Team Plasma shown in Black and White 2, since we're using those games as the base for the story. So now we have the characters discussed. Let's get started. Ash is on a plane with Delia and Professor Oak to Aspertia City, where Professor Juniper is set to meet them and 3 new trainers. And everything goes smoothly, but there is no Zekrom plot, since this rewrite takes place 2 years after the Black and White games. Helbert, the hero who tamed Zekrom, is currently off in Arctic Unova. However, Ash ends up being 2 of the 3 new trainers, being Nate and Hugh. Of course, Nate outright swarms Ash and Pikachu, and he asks Ash to sign his hat. So Ash obliges and he meets Hugh as well, but suddenly, a girl with 2 big buns on both sides of her head arrives and introduces herself as Rosa. Nathan snarkily regards, "Rosa, you must have been too busy doing your hair to even get here on time. To not only get your starter, but meet the great Ash in person." He says, "Oh, shut up, Nate." And this time, Mr. Juniper with her assistant Bianca, introducing the 3 starters, being Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott. However, Hugh reveals he already has a starter they raised from an egg. So he let Nate and Rosa pick. So Nate picks Tepig, and Rosa is tempted to pick Oshawott, but it sprays her in the face with a water gun, which messes up her hair, and Rosa is absolutely livid. And Oshawott has to hide behind Ash's leg for its own safety. And ultimately, Rosa ends up fixing her hair and picks Snivy, leading Oshawott to be shocked to know I picked it. But Ash tells Oshawott that he'll take it with him. So Ash ends up getting a second Pokemon early on. Let's go ahead and warn you, Oshawott is going to be the only canon catch that stays, since he wouldn't really meet his other catches. Nate then tells Ash that he wants to battle Pikachu, so Ash agrees, with Nate sending out his new Tepig, so he uses Flame Charge against Pikachu's Quick Attack. So Tepig uses Tackle, and Pikachu who uses a Thunderbolt, and knocks out Tepig with a Volt Tackle. Nate thanks Ash for the battle and leaves, but Rosa asks if he can travel with Ash on their journeys, and Hugh promises they get stronger finding his sister's Purloin. So Ash and Rosa head to Floxy Town on a new adventure. And during their travels to Floxy Town, Ash would teach Rosa how to catch her first Pokemon, which is a Shelmet. So Ash tells her she has to weaken the Pokemon first. So she sends in Snivy to battle with using Vine Whip and using Tackle to take down Shelmet. So Ash told her to chuck a Pokeball at it, and she manages to catch her first Pokemon. So Ash and Rosa get back on the road to Floxy Town, and they arrive after a few hours, and they meet the former champion Alder, who wants to train the two trainers. So as part of a training test, he sends one to Floxy Ranch, and on the way, Ash manages to catch a Rufflet, which brings Ash's team to 3. And then the pair encounter Riolu and Zorua, although they're currently being abused and held prisoner by Team Plasma. So Ash decides to step in with Rosa, so Pikachu and Snivy makes Team Plasma grunts, Team Patrat, Trubbish, Ponyard, and Yamask. So Ash and Rosa have their Pokemon use Vine Whip and Thunderbolt respectively, but Trubbish hits Snivy with a Sludge Wave, and Ponyard using Feint Attack on Pikachu. So Pikachu hits it back with the Iron Tail and finishes up the Ponyard with a Thunderbolt. So it jumps in and helps Snivy with Trubbish. So he uses Iron Tail with Snivy launching Pikachu with Vine Whip, and this knocks out Trubbish. So all that's left are Patrat and Yamask. So after Ash helps Riolu and Zorua get free, and they help Ash and Rosa with Patrat and Yamask. So Pikachu and Riolu take on Patrat, and Snivy and Zorua take on Yamask. So after that, Team Plasma gets sent packing, and Riolu and Zorua, feeling indebted to Ash and Rosa, they decide to join their teams. Riolu joining Ash, and Zorua joining Rosa. That's right, I'm getting Riolu early. I mean, sure, he should have got one in Sinnoh, but at the same time, it would have ruined Infernape's development. So Ash's team is now up to 4, and Rosa's is up to 3. So now that that's over, Ash and Rosa spend a few days training with not only their new team members, but also their other Pokemon. So they head to Floxy Town to meet with Alder, which he tells them that there's a new gym in Aspertia City that just opened up. Ash and Rosa head on back to Aspertia City, which after a few hours, they arrive and meet Charon. And the two trainers tried to help him set up at the gym, and the next day, Ash and Rosa went to have their gym battles. But Charon can't battle both of them at once, so he decides to flip a coin. And Rosa gets the battle first. This battle is 3 on 3, with Charon using Patrat, Pidove, and Lillipup. I'll be using the challenge mode teams with some tweaks for the gym leaders. And Rosa will be using Snivy, Shelmet, and her new Pokemon Zorua. Shelmet and Patrat come out first, and he uses Mega Drain and gets Patrat's Tackle, and Shelmet uses Curse to increase its physical stats at the cost of lowering its speed. So Patrat uses Work Up, and Shelmet knocks out with Leech Life, leaving Charon with 2. He does come out second for Charon, and uses Gust to quickly knock out Shelmet, leaving Rosa with 2 as well, so she's in Zorua. And since Ash would have taught Rosa about type matchups, so Zorua uses Feint Attack, and it uses Dark Pulse. Although Pidove tries to deflect with a Wing Attack, so Zorua using their Dark Pulse to knock out Pidove, leaving Charon with 1. Which leads to Charon sending his ace Lillipup. So Lillipup uses Workout, and uses Retaliate to knock out Zorua, which leads to Rosa sending her Snivy, which uses Vine Whip, and to jump up and uses Leaf Blade to slam Lillipup into the ground. And Lillipup then gets knocked out, allowing Rosa to get her basic badge. And now for Ash's battle, where he uses Rufflet, Oshawott, and Riolu. Oshawott comes out first against Patrat, and uses Water Gun as a rocket. And Raider Shell to attack Patrat. Then Oshawott uses Water Pulse to knock out Patrat. But Ash has to call back Oshawott and send in Rufflet to fight Pidove in an air battle, with Rufflet winning after a long and intense fight, leaving Charon with 1, while Ash still has all 3 of his Pokemon. Lillipup comes out and uses Retaliate to knock out Rufflet in 1 shot. So Ash calls back in Oshawott, so he uses Water Pulse again, and Lillipup uses Giga Impact to knock out Oshawott, leaving Ash with just Riolu. So he sends it in, and uses Force Palm, and finishes off Lillipup with an Aura Sphere. And yes, I know, Riolu can't normally learn Aura Sphere, but let's just say, Riolu's aura is rather strong. This Riolu is a rather special Riolu. And yes, this would be the end of the rebooted Part 1. Part 2 begins right where we left off in Part 1, with Ash and Rosa getting their basic badges. So now they head to Burbank City for another gym badge. So on their way, some Floxy Town and rest. After about a day, they head back on the road to Burbank City, with Ash trying to help Rosa create her own battle style. And while on their way, they encounter Hugh, who again Ash and Rosa tell him about their encounter with Team Plasma, and Hugh is rightfully outraged that Team Plasma would abuse a Pokemon. So he challenges Ash to a battle to test his strengths, so that Hugh can see if Ash can help him in his cause. The battle is a one-on-one between Pikachu and Hugh's newly evolved Duwat. Duwat and Pikachu come out and clash with Iron Tail and Razor Shell, and Pikachu goes into a quick attack against Duwat's Surf, although Pikachu tries to use Thunderbolt on the Surf, electrocuting Duwat, and Pikachu knocks out Duwat with a Volt Tackle. Now Ash and Rosie back on the road to Burbank City, where they're running to Nate, after he just got his Toxic Badge. So Nate decides to battle Rosa, since he already battled Master Ash. So Rosie uses Zorua and Snivy against Nate's Pignite and Pampor in a double battle. Pignite and Pampor against Zorua and Snivy. Snivy starts the battle with a Leaf Tornado on Pampor, and Zorua uses Dark Pulse on Pignite. Although Pignite uses Arm Thrust on Zorua deals super effective damage. Although Snivy uses their Leaf Tornado to knock out Pampor, making this battle 2-on-1. So Pignite uses Flamethrower to cover some ground, and uses Heat Crash to knock out Zorua, leaving Snivy alone to face Pignite. During this battle, Snivy manages to evolve into Servine, and learns Aerial Ace to knock out Pignite. So now I spent a few days training for their gym battle, while Roxy, which Nate told him was a Poison-type gym leader. During his training, Nate reveals that he has caught a Carablast. That's with Ash learning that Shelmet and Carablast can evolve when trained with each other, since Shelmet benefits Nate's battle style, and Carablast follows Rosa's battle style. So Ash suggests they make a trade, which happens being Carablast goes to Rosa, and Shelmet goes to Nate. And Rosa gets an Escavalier, and Nate gets an Excelgor. So after about a week of training, Ash and Rosa have to challenge the gym. And on their way, they meet a fisherman named Marlin, and his partner Vaporeon. That's a new Pokemon game for this rewrite, and he decides to join the two on their journey. So now they head to Burbank Gym, and it's blocked by Team Plasma. So Hugh arrives, and he decides to help the three trainers. Turns out, so Marlin uses Vaporeon and Mantine, Ash is Riolu and Oshawott, Rosie uses Servine and her new Escavalier, and Hugh uses Duwat and Pansage. And it's the grunts Sneasel, Watchog, Liepard, Golbat, Yamask, and Poniard. So, the four trainers decide they'll take at least one mon each, with two of them helping out another trainer, cleaning each other out. And once they finish their mon, they'll help out the others. Oshawott uses Raider Shell, Riolu uses Aura Sphere. I know Riolu can't learn Aura Sphere, I just think it makes sense for it to learn. Watchog takes a lot of damage, but uses Crunch on Servine, all to use Mega Drain to sap its health, and Riolu finishes off Watchog with an Aura Sphere. Oshawott tries to fight Yamask, although Hugh's Pansage uses Seed Bombs to knock out Yamask. Escavalier uses Iron Head against its Sneasel. Liepard tries fighting Escavalier, but uses Exit to knock out Liepard, leaving Chess, Golbat, and Poniard for the Team Plasma grunts. So, Pikachu comes out, uses Thunderbolt on Golbat, and Riolu finishes off Poniard with her Aura Sphere, which ends Team Plasma packing Team Rocket style. So Ash, Rosa, and Marlin head to Burbank Gym, and the Pokemon checked out, and meet Roxy, who Ash battles first, since Rosa had to battle first last time, and this battle is 3-on-3. Ash using Pikachu, Oshawott, and Rufflet, as Roxy's Coughing, Trubbish, and Whirlipede. Coughing and Oshawott come out first, with Coughing using Smokescreen, and Oshawott using Raider Shell, although it misses thanks to the Smokescreen. So Oshawott tries to use Aqua Jet, but unfortunately, Oshawott's keeping its eyes closed during it, and Marlin noticed this. So he decided to speak to Ash about this after the battle. Coughing uses Toxic and Venoshock in succession, and since Venoshock does double the damage when the target's poisoned, this brings Oshawott really close to fainting. But Oshawott uses Water Gun to knock out Pulse to knock out Coughing, but Oshawott succumbs to the poison, making this a double knockout. Rufflet and Trubbish come out next, and Rufflet uses Steel Wing and Aerial Ace deals some good damage to Trubbish. Trubbish uses Sludge Bomb, and Rufflet tries to deflect it with Aerial Ace, but it fails, leading to Rufflet taking massive damage. So Rufflet uses Crush Claw to knock out Trubbish. So Ash still has two Pokemon, while Roxy is left with just her Whirlipede. Whirlipede comes out third, so goes her Steamroller and finishes off Rufflet with a rollout. So now it's Pikachu versus Whirlipede, and now Whirlipede gets his rollout again, but unfortunately for Ash and Pikachu, rollout gets stronger with every attack up to 5 times. Whirlipede uses Toxic and Venom Shock, but Pikachu manages to use Iron Tail, and he uses Thunderbolt as a counter shield, and finishes up Whirlipede with Volt Tackle, allowing Ash to get the Toxic badge. So now, Marlon decides to talk to Ash about Oshawott Aqua Jet, and how it's keeping its eyes closed, while Ash and Marlon are trying to get Oshawott to open its eyes while using Aqua Jet. Marlon has Vaporeon Caracosta helping out, and after a while, Oshawott manages to master Aqua Jet, and he manages to learn Skull from Caracosta. Rosa then begins her battle with Roxy, and she uses Escavalier, Zorua, and Servine. Zorua and Coughing come out first, with Coughing uses Smokescreen, and Zorua uses Dark Pulse to hit Coughing hard. So Coughing decides to use Gyro Ball, and brings Zorua close to fainting. But when Zorua manages to use Dark Pulse to knock out Coughing, so Roxy calls in her Trubbish. Uses Sludge Bomb to knock out Zorua. So Rosa calls in her Escavalier. And it goes for Iron Head, which is Trubbish hard. Trubbish tries going for Sludge Bomb, although it has no effect on Escavalier, so you use X-Scissor and her Iron Head to knock out Trubbish. Whirlipede comes out third and uses Rollout, but Escavalier blocks it using its Lances. And he uses X-Scissor to send Whirlipede back. So Whirlipede tried using a Rollout from behind. So Rosa and Escavalier to turn around and grab Whirlipede. And uses Iron Head to knock out Whirlipede, allowing Rosa to get the Toxic badge. And with that, this is the end of part 2. And now, new stuff. So Ash can go ahead to Pokestar Studios to find Roxy's dad, the ship captain, who can take him to Castelia City. And while doing that, Marlon decides to do some fishing. He manages to reel in a Feebas and he catches it, bringing his team to 4. Ash go right to Pokestar Studios, and it's not a film movie for fun, with Marlon using his Caracosta, and Ash and Rose using all of their Pokemon. And on top of that, Rose managed to make a movie so good, she managed to get a Pokemon egg. What this egg will be, I'll discuss later. With Roxy's dad in tow, the game managed to head out to Castelia City by boat. And on the way, Marlon decides to fish again, this time catching a Poliwag. And Ash tries fishing, but he only catches a boot in a convenient moment. So after a few days, they're at Castelia City, and we Iris, whose Pokemon League champion is rewrites. So Ash learned that she's the champion, and Ashley challenges her Iris to a battle. So Ash and Pikachu against Iris' Haxorus, with Haxorus using Giga Impact and Outrage, while Pikachu tries going for Volt Tackle and Iron Tail. But Pikachu just gets knocked out by an Outrage. Ash goes ahead to Castelia Sewers with Berg and Iris, and during this, Hugh arrives with Duwat. And Hugh also fights out Team Plasma, and he feels that he is caught a Tranquil. And afterward, Ash meets Chorus, Team Plasma's second in command, and is playing an Elgium. He doesn't challenge Ash to a battle though, so now he can move on to the Castelia Gym. Although first, Ash catches a Venipede they rescued from the sewer pipe, which raised his team to 5. So Ash goes around to Castelia Gym, joining Trip and his Servine. Trip still started his journey because he wanted to originally challenge Alder, but since Alder is no longer the champion, he decided to change his goal to challenge Iris instead. Ash goes meet Berg and challenge him to a battle, with Rosa going first. Oh, she has only 3 Pokemon, so Berg decides to postpone their match until Rosa catches another Pokemon. Her heads to the ocean, and with Marlon's help, she fishes up a Tortuga. And after it messes up her hair with a water gun, she says that it's certified to battle with a murderous look in her eyes. After her Leaf Blade, she manages to catch the turtle Pokemon, which brings her team to 4, not including the egg. So she goes to re-challenge Berg with her new Tortuga, and let's just say, Tortuga is still rather scared of Rosa. So this battle is 4-on-4, with Berg using Whirlipede, Dwebble, Joltik, and Leavanny, and Rosa using Servine, Escavalier, Zorua, and Tortuga. Tortuga and Dwebble come out first, with Tortuga in the open battle using Water Gun, and then uses Aqua Jet. So Dwebble uses Rock Polish to increase its speed, and he uses Shell Smash to further increase speed and offensive stats, at the cost of lower defenses. But Tortuga using their Aqua Jet manages to knock out Dwebble before he can fire off any attacks. leaving Berg and his Joltik to deal with this, and knocks out Tortuga rather easily with a Thunderbolt and Electro Ball. Rosa then calls on her Zorua, which managed to show off a new move it's been working on, being Flamethrower. And with that, after Zorua takes a Thunderbolt, Joltik gets knocked out. Berg calls in Whirlipede as the third Pokemon, and manages to poison Zorua, but it manages to knock out Whirlipede with a Flamethrower. But Zorua falls to the poison shortly after, leaving Rosa with 2 Pokemon and Berg with 1. So Berg sends his ace, Leavanny, and Rosa calls her a Scavalier. Then it clashes with Lopunny with Axe Scissor, and Lopunny using Leaf Blade, but as Scavalier manages to use Iron Head, he uses Aerial Ace to knock out Leavanny from his super effective attack. Rosa now gets her 3rd gym badge, added to her case. So we wait a day for Ash's gym battle, and during this time, we need to go over to the Desert Resort, where we see Team Rocket try to make their way into the Relic Castle. So in case you're wondering where Team Rocket was, they were at the Desert Resort making preparations for their attack on Unova. So now Giovanni makes his way down to the bottom and meets Volcarona. So he decides to battle and catch Volcarona by using all his Pokemon at once, since he's a criminal, and manages to succeed after a rock record from his Rhyperior. So now we head back over to Ash's gym battle. Hello, Berg, where he uses Pikachu, Rufflet, Riolu, and Venipede. And Berg used the same team uses Rosa. Venipede and Whirlipede come out first, and luckily for Ash, his Venipede's ability is Speed Boost. And he uses this to its advantage, making Rollout against Whirlipede's Steamroller. And after multiple clashes, Ash's Venipede manages to evolve into a Whirlipede, and knocks out Whirlipede rather quickly with another Rollout. Leaving Berg with 3, so he calls in his Dwebble next, and manages to use Shell Smash and Rock Blast to deal some damage. But Whirlipede using his superior speed, it just flattens Dwebble in a comedic fashion. So Jolteon comes out and knocks out the entire Whirlipede. So Riolu comes out second and uses Aura Sphere, and uses Force Palm. Although Joltik uses Thunderbolt Electro Ball, he'll try and clash with Aura Sphere, but ultimately, Aura Sphere just knocks out Joltik. And Berg with just his Leavanny. So it knocks out Riolu with Leaf Blade and Aerial Ace, leaving Ash with 2. So he's sending Pikachu to deal with Leavanny, but doesn't do all that much for getting knocked out. But Rufflet manages to finish it with an Air Slash. Ash then gets his 3rd badge, and now we finally get to the final part of this video. Operation Fire and Ice Arc, aka my version of the Team Rocket vs Team Plasma 2-parter we were supposed to get, but it got cancelled due to a natural disaster. So we start by Giovanni using Volcarona, they're trying to essentially cook Unova in a giant oven. I think Volcarona is essentially a second son. So now our heroes have to fight out Team Rocket with Giovanni using Volcarona without Ash and Pikachu. Oh, the Pikachu puts a good fight. It just doesn't chance with Volcarona. So Giovanni said to Jesse and James, So this is the trainer that's been causing you problems? You 3 incompetent idiots are pathetic. So Ash then sends in all of his other Pokemon, and during this battle, Oshawott manages to evolve into Duwat. And he uses Aqua Tail and an Aqua Jet. So now Team Plasma shows up on the Plasma Frigate, and they blast Volcarona with a Kyurem Power Blast. They've already captured Kyurem at this time, they just don't have it under control yet. So Giovanni calls in Rhyperior to fight this new threat. Although all of Ash's Pokemon are knocked out except for Duwat. It has the backup of Rosa the Servine and Scavalier, and all of Marlin's Pokemon except Feebas, since it can't battle on land. And during this, Marlin's Poliwag evolves into a Poliwhirl. But Riolu managed to use a new power. With it combining its aura with Ash's, it creates a new transformation called Aura Burst. So with that, Riolu managed to use 2 massive Aura Spheres, one in each hand, and it fires one at Team Rocket and the other at the Plasma Frigate. Although Zinzalin managed to escape the blast, along with Team Plasma Grunts. Their ship is damaged, so Zinzalin sent his Weavile and Beartick to fight Riolu. But Riolu is using the Aura Explosion, and both teams blasting off. And with that, this arc concludes. And with that, I think it's a good place to leave off for right now. Now remember, there's no like over this video, so I'll get on out of here. Peace!